So let's talk about the other topical issue at the moment, GDPR. It's ubiquitous. Everybody's hearing about it in the world of IT. Well, basically, this stands for General Data Protection Regulation, and it's a new regulation that's going to come into force on May the 25th, 2018. It's actually an upgrade to the old Data Protection Act, which came out in the early 90s, and it was about protecting end consumer data for users that buy things that reside in the EU. So if you're a supplier of any of those services and you capture that data, there are certain formats and processes that you have to follow and you have to report against, and then you have to be able to give the end consumer their data back in a certain format. Unfortunately, if you don't do this and don't conform to these regulations, then you could be facing a fine of up to 4% of your global turnover, or up to 20 million euros. This is huge, huge monies. The impact is pretty serious. So let's hear from Microsoft now about what their views are on GDPR.
Chris, that's a great summary of GDPR. It's real, it's here, it's going to come around very quickly. The advice to businesses to start looking at processes, systems now to make sure that you're ready for when this regulation comes into play. So if you put yourselves in the shoes of a consumer, who are you going to trade with, or who do you want to be trading with? It's those suppliers that you can trust, who have secure systems, knowing that your data is safe. So for the businesses that don't invest in these systems and ignore GDPR, then the future looks a little bit bleak. As a consumer, you want to make sure you're putting your data in a safe pair of hands, right? So my advice is look at it now, act now, but make sure you're investing in the right products. So if you're looking at the Microsoft stack, Dynamics 365 is a great way of storing, accessing data.
Yes.
EMS is a great way of securing devices. If you're, have a lot of devices in your organisation that you want to secure endpoints with. But yeah, make sure that you're making steps now is the key message.
I read somewhere that Satya Nadella had reported something about your Microsoft Cloud Stack and GDPR.
That's correct, Chris. So all our cloud products, by the time GDPR comes into play, will be all GDPR ready and takes away a lot of the worry and pain. And it's knowing that your data is going to be in a safe pair of hands.
That's great, because it's great for us to know as a partner, but I would still recommend any businesses out there, you still must talk to a partner about, whilst all the products will be GDPR compliant, they still need to be an element of configuration. For instance, Enterprise Mobility Suite that gives some great security to documents and to emails. All of those things need to be really scoped out in your business and implemented with the right structural configuration to make sure GDPR is perfect for you and you get the big tick in the box. So this brings me around to my last question, really, for Ritesh. Security is the biggest thing at the moment. With all the outbreaks of the CryptoLock and the WannaCry virus, it's quite topical. So I'd like to know, a little bit about what Microsoft are doing from a security perspective.
Sure, thanks, Chris. Security is a very broad subject, as you know. Windows 10 is one of the fastest, securest operating systems, so we're continuously investing in that product. EMS, which you know about very well. Rather than me tell you what EMS is, I'd like to understand how you're using that to take to your customers and what you're doing for them at the moment.
I think it's important that, with the advent of the outbreak, a lot of partners out there immediately came out with, we can do this for you and we can do that for you. But, viruses are out there, the hackers enjoy doing it, and they also like to make some money out of it. From our perspective, we bet on the Microsoft stack for our security products. They have a wealth of, the depth is there. So let's delve into enterprise mobility and security. That has different products within it, for instance, mobile application management, mobile device management, so it secures the data on all of your mobiles and all your devices. There's a great one called Advanced Threat Protection that sits and works very closely with Windows 10. Such a good operating system. In fact, I read somewhere that 49% of corporates and enterprises decided to choose Windows 10 as their operating system because it was more secure. And something like 33% reduction in security security issues on Windows 10 operating system. So Windows 10 is the obvious upgrade path. There's another great one as well that we look at, which is called Advanced Threat Protection and Advanced Threat Analytics. So you can sit ATA, because we all love putting acronyms in there, on Windows domain controllers. And what that does is it really looks for any irregularities happening on those servers, and it sends analytical reports to the IT people, immediate alerts. So really, from a security perspective, it is all about not just protecting your data, but making sure your firewalls, your desktops, your servers, anything internal, and then it has a wall to stop people getting in, all those ports are protected. And Microsoft has a great suite for this. I think I'd finally like to say that, again, on LinkedIn, what we're doing is we're videoing top 8 tips, and we're releasing those over the next few days, one video at a time, that helps you understand what products you can use, but also how your users should operate and not perhaps click on certain links, and giving them some user education. So watch out for that on LinkedIn. We hope you enjoy it. I think really I'd like to finish by saying thanks so much, Ritesh. It's awesome meeting you again, and thanks for taking part in this interview, and we'll see you again soon.
It's a pleasure.
Cheers. Nice one. Thank you.